When traveling through Washington State, filled with beautiful scenery, it's hard to believe that major flooding does occur here. Floods are the most common natural disaster in the U.S., and over the last decade, many people lost their lives due to flooding and flood-related causes. Washington is not immune to the dangers of floods and flash floods. Over the last several decades, we have experienced floodings in many areas of the state. Jim, Mike, and Beverly were impacted by the 2007 flood event in western Washington and will share their experience with you.
The Chehalis River in Lewis County, Washington, experienced a 500-year flood. That flood was significant and a magnitude that we had never seen before. The bank illustrates the amount of water that actually went over the top of that bank was significant enough to flood our community.
My name is Mike Peroni. My wife Heidi and I run Boisfort Valley Farm, located in Curtis, Washington, made famous by catastrophic flooding, which started the morning of December 3rd. It was really my impression that we would get a normal high water and that it would all dissipate and be unremarkable. The water came up so quickly in this area that there were emergency response personnel that could not get here.
I woke up in the morning to the sound of water coming over the road. That wasn't entirely unusual. All of a sudden it was above the top board that I usually measured by, and I realized this might be a little bit different circumstance.
These stories show how quickly floods can occur. It's important to be alert when severe weather is likely, especially if you are close to water, live in low-lying areas, or live where urban flooding may occur. Be alert. Being alert and being able to take action quickly can save your life.
Coastal Flood Watch has been issued for this area. Please be advised.
One of the first things you can do is to purchase a NOAA weather radio. NOAA weather radios have a special warning alarm that sound immediately for floods, severe weather, and other events. These radios can be purchased at most hardware stores, retail stores, or online. Once you purchase a radio, you will need to program it. If you need help, call your local emergency management agency. Know the terms. Listen to your NOAA radio when severe weather is likely. There are two terms you should know and understand: flood watch and flood warning. Knowing these terms can help you decide what actions to take. Flood watch. When a flood watch is issued, you must get prepared. The risk of flood and severe weather conditions have increased. A flood watch is usually issued 12 to 48 hours prior to the potential event. Flood warning. Take action. A flood warning is typically issued within 12 hours of a life or property-threatening event. When hearing these alerts, it is important to take them seriously and take the appropriate actions, as Beverly learned from her experience.
Well, I learned now that I tend to think that sometimes weather warnings and things are that they think the worst, and maybe not pay that much attention to them. But I'm going to take it seriously if they forecast heavy rains and be prepared.
Preparedness. It's worth it. Follow these simple actions to prepare for a flood event. First, review your flood insurance policy. It is best to do this with an insurance agent so you know exactly what is and is not covered. Fill out an out-of-area contact card for each household member. Prepare your 3-day disaster kit. Contact your local emergency management agency for suggested items. Teach all responsible household members how to shut off the utilities. Develop an evacuation plan. Make sure you have at least 2 routes identified in case one becomes impassable. Protect your possessions.
I learn now to keep the things that matter most to me where I can get to them easily and quickly.
Like Beverly did, create a disaster file. This should be in a waterproof container that you can easily take with you. Suggested documents to include are a copy of your insurance policies and agent contact information, health information such as medications and a list of your doctors, an inventory of your possessions, including receipts, photos, and videos, copies of financial records, account numbers, and receipts of major purchases. Protect your property. To protect your property, clear debris from rain gutters and downspouts. Clear debris from curbside drains near your home. If you have a sump pump, make sure that it's working properly and that you know how to safely operate it. To help further minimize property damage, anchor any propane tanks or fuel tanks. Elevate your furnace, water heater, washer, and dryer on cement blocks at least 12 inches above the projected flood elevation. Remember, even if you do not live in a designated floodplain, the chance of flooding still exists. Individuals and communities need to be prepared for a flood event before one occurs.
Prior to the flooding in 2007, our evacuation plan was calling 911. We now have a written plan and are developing a red line, which is the course of events that will lead us to implement that evacuation plan.
I encourage every community, small or large, to develop a plan to sit down at a table and take the effort, the few hours it takes, to make a system that takes care of your people. Don't rely on other people to come in and take care of you. That's what we learned.